We can't say it's not a tax on the businesses, and here's why. Because Jay said it's not a legal requirement for the businesses to pass on the tax to the consumer. We're asking these businesses to take on the debt if they don't want to pass it on to their consumers. And though this does make sense, I went to college in Seattle. I understand sales tax. We were up in the 8 and 9% when I was up there. And I stayed living up there a couple years working in the insurance industry before moving back to Oregon. And I would drive sometimes to Tacoma to get a lower sales tax rate of the same items if I was heading somewhere, because it was, it saved me a bit of money. And I'd buy multiple items because it was cheaper than the Seattle sales tax. That's ridiculous, but I did it because there was still something in the idea of it. We have a 77% retail. That's where we've ended up after our logging went away, after our construction boom industry went away. We have retail left. How do we support our local businesses? We have an economic development plan going on. We have a business advocate, or did at least. But what are they advocating for if it's a competition for businesses to be in existence here? Because if they don't have the ability in their profit margins to pass on the tax to their consumers, they have to eat it. I don't know about you guys, but we've been inundated from almost every business that's been long-term in this community saying, please don't do it. Please don't, as Colleen said, don't divide our community. As we're coming into busy season, as far as gearing up for Christmas, businesses need to be doing what they do best, and that's selling their stuff to the consumers that need to do it. We've had a couple of a heck of a years with the fires, with everything else that's gone on, that our retail industry has taken a hit the last couple of years. You add to it, now they have to have mandatory sick leave and health insurances. The businesses haven't realized everything that's an impact on their profit yet. And for us to turn around and say, businesses, now you need to eat this cost because it's not a legal requirement to put it on your receipt and pass it on to your consumers. We can say it's not a tax on the businesses, but essentially it is. And I think that we should not put this product forward simply for the sake of getting a poll out there. I've said it before, our city residents have passed additional property tax, but we've never asked them the question, would you respond to a sales tax? Instead of rushing into this, put it on the May ballot, but instead for this November, put a question to our city voters and say, would you support a sales tax? Let's ask the question before we implement something that we can't undo. We say we're for business, but at the same time, we're making the businesses, instead of getting ready for retail season, we're making them have to fight a battle of, will I even exist next year because of how close things are? I suggest we slow it down and do it right. Who says we can't do this in May and still look in the same time frames? Let's put the question to the voters instead of, would you support this, so we know where we're at, and not just guessing with random numbers pulled out of wherever we're at. It also gives us the chance to reach out to our business community and see what they could deal with, what they could respond to, have people on the task force or other groups that are going to be directly impacted by it, and not have this system be that, hey, this is all we can come up with, and we're instead losing the faith that we've built for the last 5 years. Slow it down, do it right, get the question out there, and then come back and have knowledge before the decision of where we're facing. Yeah, it's a tough decision, but why our one healthy thing, the only economy you have, is these downtown businesses? We don't have anything else. There's no other business for someone to go to. Yeah, Walmart's going to survive, but how many in our community have that as a living wage job? It's not that. Let's support our smaller businesses, let's support our downtown, let's support our businesses that are family owned, and do this right with a question instead in the fall, and then respond accordingly. That would be what I suggest.